track, hit your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Like a vest on your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that sunshine state for the bomb ass city. The state where the number find the dance floor empty and pimp speed. On the mission for them greens. Lean speed, money making machines, serving things. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since homies was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like I'm Rob Liberace. It's all good, from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb and your city make it play. Pull up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah. I remember Marvin Gaye used to say that we had a feeling like black was the thing to be. Suddenly the ghetto didn't seem so tight, but we had it right. We always had it. I remember my curfew was open, and had a smoke or two. I realized I really paid the price. She nearly gave her life to raise me right. And all I had to give her was my life, trick my mama about the life, and make it to the right swing. Trying to make it time out of pills, it's hard to leave like shit. It's still fake, the ring in the end, it seems bad for the business. I live on my friends, but the room where they win. Last night, my body was so family. It's trying to take the man and me to conquer this insanity. It seems the rain will never let up. I try to keep my head up. And feel people getting wetter. You know it's funny when it rains and pours. They got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. Said it ain't no hope for the youth when the truth is. It ain't no hope for the future. And then they wonder why we crazy. I blame my mother for turning my brother into a black lady. We ain't able to survive because it's a setup. And even though it's better.
Oh yeah! What's up, Los Angeles? My name is Zach Stoltz. I'm the Southern California Regional Organizer for the Yang Gangs. I'm Did not know I was going to be talking tonight to thousands of people, but this is awesome because I have an important message to give to everyone. So, what we do is we go out, we hand out flyers to get people to come to events like these. We hang out, we have fun. We're not weird, I promise. We're just like you. But we have a thriving volunteer organization. We've got Los Angeles, Orange County, South Bay LA. We've got places all over the place. Yeah, where are my Orange County folks at? Awesome. Where are my Angelinos? Los Angelinos? All right, now I want you to imagine if we had that energy at all of our volunteer events where we could be going out, we could be talking to people, we would win this whole thing. So this can't just be just for the rally. This has to be a movement that we all do together. This Saturday, we've got the National Yang Gang Day, October 5th. I want as many people as possible to get out. Go to yang2020.com/events, check out the events in your area, and let's show that we can do this all the time. All right, the last thing I'll say is we do need more people doing text banking. You've probably heard about it. It's where you get online. Yeah, that's what's up. So you get online, you just send mass text messages to all the different people in all the different states, and they'll say things. You'll say like, "Oh, will you support Andrew Yang?" And then the first message I got back was absolutely effing not. But then I got a bunch of messages saying, "That's my dude." And so that's what's happening. A lot of people are like, "Is that the guy that wants to give everyone $1,000 a month?" Hell yeah, it is. So if you want to get involved with that, just go to yang2020.com/volunteer. Go to SoCalYangGang.com. We will get you hooked up. We will get you set up with everything you need to know to help the campaign push Andrew along. Get the name recognition up. Yes, that guy knows. All right, so give us a like on Facebook, SoCal Yang Gang. There's a volunteer booth back there. Go buy some merch. We've got a really great candidate for you tonight, but you already know that. So we got... Okay, all right.
Oh my God! Look at all of you guys who came out here to my rally, the rally of John Yang! I'm a great dancer, yeah! 4 weeks ago, nobody knew who I was, but MSNBC said I'm living my best life. Hell yeah, I'm living my best life. I just want to solve the problems that got Donald Trump elected. You all know my flagship policy, the Liberty Dividend. Woo! I'm out of breath. That's right, I just want to give every American citizen $1,001. What up? Every American over the age of 17. Woo! Free money. Yeah. Listen, we all know that it's not the immigrants causing the problem. It's automation. It's AI. It's Amazon. It's alliteration. It's a lot of letter A's. Guys, how much did Amazon pay in taxes last year, yo? That's right! Zero! Do you think that's fair? Oh, I don't either! I do not think that's fair either. You know what? We all deserve a piece of that pie, don't you think? Guys, I've done the math. And pie is 3.1419265358979. Guess what the next three numbers are? 3, 2, 3, like this area code 1 of Los Angeles! Woo! Guys, also don't forget my other flagship policy. But other flagship policy? Democracy hollers! That's right, with Democracy hollers, you, the American people, put your money where your mouth is, not literally because you do not know where those bills have been. You put your money where, yeah, this guy gets it. You put your money where your mouth is figuratively, and then you announce vocally who you're going to support. And who are you supporting for 2020? Yang! That's right! Yang! 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 Live my best life! I'm a concert bell!
My rock, it's our rock. I'm really curious what he's gonna say. Like, I've never been to like I didn't stay for it. Yeah, but I already did. See if it's gonna be a part of it. Dude, think about it. Like even like automation, like you can't. It's only like extremely skilled labor, like carpenters, mechanics, stuff like that. They have a little bit longer than that. But even that, like I can't remember what I was seeing, but it was like it was one of those robots, and it was a robot that could install drywall. Yeah. Drywall's the hitman. That would be a good double play. Oh yeah. Yeah, it'll be old houses that oh yeah. Because there'll still be old houses that maintained, but they'll probably be designed differently. Yeah, if someone I'm right now in computer science major, so I don't know. But I used to work in the brewery industry. I worked at two different breweries, and I was talking to one of the guys who I used to work at Left Coast with, and he works in the barrel folding. He says all he does is like completely automated. All he does is I mean, there's some stuff that they can't automate yet. Like, dude, job like brewing is 100% going to be automated in the future. Like, I can imagine every single part of that operation is like relatively easy. can definitely imagine that type of thing being automated. Computer science is probably like a lot of like smaller stuff. It's like just learning how to program. It becomes like learning how to program like and it's starting to become clear like the type of things they can do with it. But it's crazy. It's like if you have that imagination and the time and the resources, like that's so like I think so military industrial complex loves that. I remember when I heard that phrase when I was younger, I was like, oh, serious. No, it's just a thing. It's like, we profit a lot more than that. Yeah, I mean, I've also, like, the fact that there's student debt crisis, like, that's deflating the economy. Like, kids can have student debt. Like, I'm trying to get through college without debt. Luckily, I mean, my parents are helping, like, I mean, I'm old enough to return to school, so I get, like, a lot of help from the government, which is such a good investment if you think about it. Basically, the government's going to invest maximum $30 grand a year right now, and then if I get a like, something, yeah, and, like, I'm, like, if they invest in the zero kids, yeah, you invest, basically, I was thinking about it, I was like, because I was feeling kind of guilty about taking, like, payments, I felt like, you know, I look at that person, so I think about it. But the thing is, the government maximum invest, I think what I'll get financially will be like 30K overall. They invest 30K in my education, and I get a job, like software development, I think it's like software engineer. They make money and salaries like 50,000. I'm gonna pay that back in taxes. At my peak, 300,000 in 3 years. And at the beginning of my career, probably 60, 70. So it's like, it just makes sense. Like, it doesn't make sense when people like, free college, it's not free college, it's community. I hate when people go to other than freedom dividends, because that actually makes sense. It's not free college, it's community funded college that invests in you to educate you, and then they pay it back. And you're going to pay more in taxes for the course of your life than you're ever going to take in financial aid. What's cool is we got news, like there's news here, like because you know, like, I mean, it makes sense why the media wants it in more, and it's like very important because all these news outlets are owned by big corporations. That's why I actually like this democracy y'all are having. Oh yeah, like, yeah. Are they selling the hats now, or you guys got them early? I got here a while back. That one was like tough. I want to get the, like, you know, I don't know if it's inside or inside. Yeah, I think it's some side company.
Power bank is fine. I don't know where the batteries are.
She said, do you love me? I tell her I only party. I only love my bed, my mom, I'm sorry.
No, you gotta go.
Hey, are you good? Was it too hot coming in from the way they were talking? No, I think it was okay. Okay, cool. I just want to
had on the people.
I'm tired of those perks going to the companies. I'm tired of hearing people not having the...
Uh-oh. Signs down up front! Lower the signs!
My campaign will now give a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month for an entire year to 10 American families. You are one of the winners of Freedom Dividend. You're going to get $1,000 a month for a year. You are one of the winners of the Freedom Dividend.
Oh man, I'm like shaking right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's a crazy time we're in, and it's time to make good crazy things happen instead of bad crazy things happen. You know what I mean?
Yes, how are we? Look at how many people we have here. This is so exciting. So Andrew's about to come on, but first of all, I want to explain something. All of you guys have these lovely signs. Raise them up in the air. We have Community First, we have Yang Gang, we have Math, we have Andrew Yang for president. So Andrew's going to come on here, and he's going to talk and say a lot of incredible things. He's going to talk a lot about math and numbers and statistics. Anytime that he says anything about math or numbers, I want you guys, especially the ones with the math signs, to throw them in the air and say math, all right? So we're gonna practice. When I say math, you say math. When I say math, you say math. When I say math, you say math. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now our first guest speaker is Paget Kagi. She's an actress, YouTuber. Here we go. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. Look at this. Wow, look at you guys. These things smile so hard. I forget what I'm saying. Okay. This is absolutely incredible. 3 months ago, I went from being completely politically disengaged to like standing up here on this stage, and my journey is not a unique one. I am pretty sure a lot of you people have had the same experience get here today. Right? Because to me, this is more than just a political campaign. This is a movement, right? Andrew Yang is more than just a presidential candidate. Yes, I just said more than just a presidential candidate. Okay? He is the leader of this movement. And you guys, you are the co-creators of this movement. And we have a unique opportunity as co-creators to create a future that will make ourselves proud, our friends, our families proud, and future generations after us. And, I know I'm not alone in feeling this, but when Andrew Yang speaks, right, it really gets. And the thing is that is the power of truth, right? That is what brought you all out here today, braving like the ridiculous LA traffic and the kind of questionable public transport, But I think it's because we sense that we are at a crossroads, right? We are at a fork in the road, and we can continue going down the path that we have gone down, expecting different results. Some people might call that insanity. Or we can forge a new path, right? Built on solutions and humanity, right? And putting the people
people over politicians. And the thing is, I'm not gonna lie to you, like, this is not gonna be easy, right? It's gonna be challenging, as we know. But we are friggin' up for the challenge. And you know what? Andrew Yang says, when he is being challenged, challenge fucking accepted! So this Saturday is hashtag National Yang Gang Day. We are all meeting in Santa Monica. It's going to be amazing if you all come out. Imagine the media storm that's going to happen from. So please join us. Go to yang2020.com, /events, and find the event and join us. It's going to be kick-ass, all right? Now, before I introduce the next guest, I gotta get this right because he told me I gotta get this right, okay? So he loves 3 things. The first one is his wife, that is very important. The second one is rap, that is very important. And the third one is Andrew Yang! So, welcome on to the stage, MC Jin!
Make some noise for Paget! Callie, what's up? Alright, she said a lot of very meaningful, inspirational, uplifting things. And that's gonna be hard to follow. He said, do you love my wife? Do you love my wife? Do I love my wife? Hell yeah! Woo! So check this out. I was listening to Paget and thinking, how do I follow that? She said something very meaningful, inspirational, and I think that's been the core of Andrew's whole campaign thus far, is that at the end of the day, no matter your left, your right, your color, your preference, everything, we're all connected by this just sense of unity, right? And as I got here and I watched that line, it's still going. You see that line for the toilet? That's commitment. That shows us that no matter what, it's humanity first, bladder second. Shout out to all the people in the line. And one thing I want to encourage, this is what I'm encouraging myself today, is that when you leave here, I know online, Yang Gang is powerful. Can I get a hell yeah? But can we make Yang Gang powerful in the streets? Can we make Yang Gang powerful in your communities? So encouraging myself too. I want you to meet at least 5 people that you didn't know when you got here. Shake their hand, give them a hug. I'll tell you a quick story. I was right there by that tree right there, this really big one. And a guy came up to me and he was like, yo, MC Jin, man, can we take a picture? And it really humbled and encouraged me. He was so excited that he didn't even realize he was still on a phone call. So as we're taking the photo, I'm looking at the phone and he's still on the call. And he's like, oh snap, my bad. And I was like, that's cool. He's like, all right, man, let me just hang up. I'm like, yeah, sure. And he goes, Ma, I'm sorry. Then over there, just right now, this person came up to me and she was like, MC Jin, ni hao. Can you guess what country she's from? America, damn it! Point being, there's a lot of family members here, because we're all part of the Yang Gang. So we need to take that beautiful online, that unity, that community, and we gotta really, really pour it into our day-to-day lives, your work, your school, your frat, whatever social circle you're in. I got an important question. She said that I love my wife, I do. She said that I love rapping, I do. She said I love Andrew, I do. I got a question. Make some noise if you love hip-hop! So I grew up on Wu-Tang, and I still love Wu-Tang. But right now, I'm in the mood for a little Drew Yang. And that's who I hooked up with. When I say Drew Yang Gang, I want y'all to say, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. DJ, let's go. You gotta turn that up. Put your signs up. Put your hands up. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. Drew Yang Gang, that's who I hooked up with. There's no place to hide now. That easy, what I'm saying. He ain't playing. Now in this campaign, bang, gang, this, and must confess, the country's a mess. God bless us all, it's all just a test. Why not now? Serve 4 years, yeah. Fuck with true gang, that's who I hooked up with. Come on. True gang, that's who I hooked up with. When I say Andrew, y'all say yeah. Andrew, yeah. Andrew, yeah. When I say yeah, y'all say gang, yeah. 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 Have a good night, guys. I gotta introduce somebody. Who's ready for the big dog? So am I. He's coming. So just to whet your appetite a little bit, I'm gonna bring out another Yang. Name's not Andrew, but he's a Yang nonetheless, and we're all part of the family. So they gave me like this write-up of things that he's accomplished, things that he's done. But I don't want to get into that because to me, he strikes me as a humble guy, a cool guy. And he doesn't feel like, I don't feel like he would want me to be like, you saw him do this, you saw him do that. So I'm just gonna tell you my impression of this guy before he comes on. I don't know, he should be by the stage already. So I met this guy several years back, initially working on his documentary for a basketball player by the name of Jeremy Lin. So we worked on his doc together, and from there, we went and grabbed a meal. And this meal really allowed us to bond and get to know each other. I haven't seen him since that meal, so it's amazing to be here, reconnecting for this movement, for this cause. And in case you're wondering, yes, we did have dim sum. Make some noise for Brian Yang!
What's up, LA? So yes, I am a Yang by birth, but I'm not related to Andrew. Everyone thinks we're brothers, but no. Set the record straight. When he takes the White House, I'll conveniently claim that, though, for sure. All right, so I wrote the speech because I'm not smart like these other people, but forgive me. I had to do something a little more heartfelt because I've known Andrew for 20 plus years. So I am a producer and an actor. I know, very original in this town. But before going into this field, I worked for Andrew at a little startup company in New York City, Midtown. This was the early 2000s. It was a company called Stargiving. So if anyone in this audience is a true Yang Ganger, we're talking, you know his wife's name, which is what? All right. You know that in high school, how did he dress? What was he known as? Yeah, all right. And you know, this weekend, it was all official because he got made fun of on what show? Oh, damn, everyone's plugged in. All right. SNL by Bowen Yang, who is also not related, but damn, there's not a lot of Yangs in the air today. So I too have done the math. 20 plus years. knowing Andrew. First off, I'm old. Secondly, there's a saying, across a person's life, which is about 80 years long, you'll meet about 30 to 100,000 people, right? You can look it up. It's just this kind of like give or take thing. So when I say in my lifetime, I've met no one smarter, more innovative, more outside the box, more galvanizing than Andrew Yang, that means a lot. That's a lot of people I've met in my life as a pretty social guy. So Andrew's professional life, it's always been about uplifting other people, coming up with bold, innovative solutions to help people, right? So again, if you are a true Yang Ganger, you knew what Stargiving was about, the company I worked for him at. So side by side, we built this company, and it was a company that helped nonprofits raise money and awareness. We worked with a lot of celebrities, people like Magic Johnson, LA, here we are, supermodel Nikki Taylor, if you guys remember. Hootie and the Blowfish, again, I'm dating myself. Darius Rucker's OG Yang Gang. So that company eventually led way, not immediately, to his last endeavor, as you guys know, VFA, which was also all about putting, there's some VFA people in the house, entrepreneurs, okay? This man is not about just hot air. He puts his money where his mouth is. So Andrew Yang, I'm here to tell you, is the real deal, coming from a first-person point of view. Someone who's spent time with him in war rooms, seen how calm and collected he could take a situation that might be challenging and make it into something positive. So when he says he is the opposite of the man in the White House right now, there is no truer statement than when he says the opposite of Donald Trump is
Andrew Yang!
I love it.
Yang beats Trump! 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 Yang beats Trump!
Yang Yang, you are the best. Look, it doesn't take a genius to understand the totality of who Andrew Yang is and what his platform is all about. And while it took me a really long minute to accept the fact that he was running for president of the United States when he told me early on, because it's just not something your friend normally does. When it clicked, when I thought about it, I said, oh man, knowing Andrew, if there was anyone in my life that could crack the code, that could save this country, it was Andrew. Because he's a man who loves to solve problems, right? He always talks about that. I double-checked the math again. Read his book, The War on Normal People. Get it on your book. And I considered. Someone got the book right there. All right. I consider if there's a man on this planet right now, in this country, who really knows how to solve problems, it is Andrew Yang. And folks, today we have a lot of serious problems facing our society, no questions, right? And if you're feeling like I'm feeling, and that the current administration and a lot of the other candidates on the Democratic side aren't seeing the whole picture, then what we need to do is take this time, right now. Gang Gang, we need to double down everything you do, right? We have a real opportunity. Time, money obviously, and yo, did we clear 2 million yet? Does anyone know? The stretch goal. There you go. Today's 9:30, right? Today's the end of Q3. So if you guys can get on, $5, $3, whatever, let's blow this door down and let's send a message to the world, right? If you're Yang curious, I call people here who aren't in the Yang Gang yet but wanted to come check out because they heard there's an Asian man who likes math, who's trying to help this country. If you're Yang curious, come on in this game. We'll give you a big hug and we'll show you what it's all about. It's all up. Look, there's a reason why Elon Musk, Alyssa Milano, Casey Neistat, Marcellus Wiley, MC Jin flew out from here from New York for this, guys. All right? There's a reason why all these people from all these backgrounds love Andrew Yang. All right, so it's time, guys. You guys come out of this inspired. Go home, tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell your social media. We want to build up this wave so that we can come crashing down on Washington, D.C.'s head. We want to put this man in the Oval Office. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the next president of the United States.
Andrew Yang! Andrew Yang! Andrew Yang! Andrew Yang!
my gosh, they say you're the internet. You don't look like the internet to me, Los Angeles. The internet looks like thousands of the most beautiful human beings I have ever seen. Really, look around you, look around. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. We're about to close out Q3, and we've got some news for the world. Because they're looking up, they're saying, hey, Andrew Yang, his campaign, really interesting, raised 2.8 million in Q2. We're about to blow that figure out of the water. We raised $2 million in the last week alone. People are waking up to the fact that this campaign has the clearest vision for the country. That we can solve the problems that got Donald Trump into office in the first place. Am I right, Los Angeles? I'm running for president in part because we seem to be confused about why Donald Trump is our president. If you turn on cable news, why would you think this man is our president today? I know some of you are like, cable news, I haven't watched that shit in years. But for the Americans who still watch cable news, what they get is a cocktail, a mixture of Russia, racism, Facebook, the FBI, Hillary Clinton, emails, all mixed together into this nasty cocktail. And they're like, that is why. That's right, I did some fucking math. And what the math says clear as day is that there's a straight line up between the adoption of industrial automation in a voting area and the movement towards Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, and we automated away 4 million jobs, mainly in those states. That is why Donald Trump is our president today. We're in the midst of what experts are calling the fourth industrial revolution. When's the last time you heard a politician say fourth industrial revolution, Los Angeles? Just now, that's right. And I'm barely a fucking politician. Donald Trump is not the cause of all of our problems, much as the talking heads like to act like that's so. He is a symptom, he's a manifestation of this economic transformation that we're in the midst of. It started with manufacturing and now it's gathering steam. How many of you noticed stores closing where you live in Los Angeles? And why are those stores closing? That's right, Amazon's like a giant black hole sucking up $20 billion in business every single year. And how much did Amazon pay in taxes last year? That's right, they paid less in taxes than everyone here in this group. Now, how is that possible? How did $1 trillion tech company pay zero in taxes?
Lobbyists!
And I'm going to say that is not their fault, that is our fault. We have to be pretty fucking stupid to let $1 trillion tech company pay nothing in taxes. Am I right, Los Angeles? So here's the math. 20 billion out. Zero back in. 30% of America's stores and malls close, and the most common job in much of the country is working as a retail clerk or cashier. The average retail worker in the United States is a 39-year-old woman making between $9 and $11 an hour. What is she going to do when her store closes? Fred says she's going to cry. There will be tears shed. But not if we can help it, am I right, Yang Gang? How many of you have noticed self-serve kiosks popping up in fast food restaurants? Not the In-N-Out, I'm happy to say. In-N-Out still human. But McDonald's is rolling out self-serve kiosks in every location in the United States by 2021. What is that going to mean for the hundreds of thousands of Americans who work in food service and food preparation?
No more jobs!
When you call a big company, you get the customer service line. What do, Los Angeles? You call 000, say human, until you get someone on the line. Am I right? But in 2 or 3 short years, the software is going to sound like this. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? What can I do for you? It's going to be efficient, delightful, a little bit sexy, apparently. What is that going to mean for the 2.5 million Americans who work at call centers right now making $14 an hour? More tears. These are the trends that are shaping American life today. They're kicking more and more Americans to the curb. I'm going to talk a little bit about most common job in 29 states, driving a truck. How many of you all know a truck driver here in California? There are 3.5 million truckers in this country, and my friends right here in California are working on trucks that can drive themselves. Why do so many of my friends care about self-driving trucks? For the most American of reason, the money. $168 billion a year in cost savings from automating away truck driving jobs. They tell me they're 98% of the way there. What is that going to mean for the 3.5 million truckers in this country and the 7 million Americans who work at truck stops, hotels, diners, and retail establishments that need the truckers to get out and have a meal?
Unemployment!
So my first move, when I dug through the math, was not to run for president of the United States. I went to our leaders in Washington, D.C., and I asked them, what are we going to do? How are we going to let America know that it is not immigrants that are causing these problems? It's not immigrants, it's automation and technology. And what did the folks in Washington, D.C. say to me when I asked them, what are we going to do? Number one, we can't talk about that. Number two, we should study that further. Apparently you don't like the study, Los Angeles. And number three, we have to educate and retrain all Americans for the jobs of the future.
What jobs?
And I said, hey, that sounds really responsible, but I looked at the studies, I did the math. Do you all know how effective government-funded retraining programs were for the manufacturing workers in the Midwest? 0 to 15%. That's right, gang. That's a fail. That's a fail by any curve. Well, the fail chant. That's a new one. My parents are somewhere smiling. I love you too. So the folks in DC want nothing to do with this. I know this because one of them actually said to me flat out, he said, Andrew, you're in the wrong town. No one here in Washington, D.C. is going to do anything about this because this is not a town of leaders, this is a town of followers. And he said to me, in order for us to do anything about it, you're going to have to create a wave in other parts of the country and bring that wave crashing down on our heads here in D.C. And I said, challenge accepted, Los Angeles. We are that wave. I'm going to go back to DC atop that wave. And they are not going to know what hit them. Am I right? I have to say, I'm so glad I had someone with me when this guy gave me this little speech. Because you would think I was making that up, right? You would think that's some movie supervillain type speech. It turns out it was a DC lobbyist type speech. And they're very much the same thing. So that is why I'm here with you tonight running for president, and I was 4th in the country in a recent national poll.
Yeah!
it's because I'm talking sense, I'm describing the real problems, and I have real solutions that would actually improve our lives and make our lives better. Thanks, man. So what are those solutions? You all remember the first time you heard about me in the campaign, how there's an Asian man running for president who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month. You remember that, Los Angeles? And I want you to reflect on the first time you heard that. Nothing like the first time, right? Where the first time you heard it, you were like, ha ha, that's a gimmick, that'll never happen. But if you dig into it, you will find this is not an Andrew Yang idea. This is a Thomas Paine idea. This is a Martin Luther King idea. This is an Elon Musk idea. And soon, this is going to be the idea of the American people that takes us all the way to the White House in 2021. This is a Yang Gang America! Don't adjust your TV sets, it's real. This $1,000 a month in our hands, there is nothing stopping a majority of the citizens of a democracy from declaring ourselves a dividend. Nothing at all. It's been in effect in one state for the last 40 years. And what state is that, Los Angeles? And how does Alaska pay for it? And what is the oil of the 21st century? Marijuana, that's right, Los Angeles. It's not marijuana, you were right. It's technology, artificial intelligence, self-driving cars and trucks, big data. How many of you saw the study that just came out that said that our data is worth more than oil? Raise your hand to that. Now keep your hand up if you remember getting your data check in the mail. What happened? Did our checks get lost? They did not get lost. They went to the Amazon headquarters, the Google headquarters, the Facebook headquarters. Oh, they're getting our data checks to the tune of billions of dollars. I say that's our information, and if anyone's getting a dividend, it should be us, right, Los Angeles? We need to rewrite the rules of the 21st century economy so that they work for us, the owners and shareholders of this country. Am I right? And when a company declares a dividend for its shareholders, everyone applauds. Everyone's like, nice job, good job. When Verizon, Coke, Microsoft, all those companies declare dividends, everyone's like, nice work. And you know what no one ever asks? What are the shareholders going to do with the money? Do you think Verizon's like, hey, we're going to give this dividend out, but we're going to follow you home and see what you spend it on? Of course not, because it's their money, just like this is our money, am I right? And we know how to spend it. We're going to spend it on the things that make our lives better. Daycare, car repairs we've been putting off, school loans, Little League sign-ups, making art. We know how to solve our own problems better than any politician, better than any government program. We put this dividend into our hands and it will begin the trickle-up economy for our people, our families, and our communities up. Particularly because the money would not go anywhere. It would be in our hands. You would spend most all of it right here in Los Angeles, am I right? That makes our businesses stronger, our local community stronger, our families stronger, and as a parent to 2 young kids, I have to say, what's going on in American families today is something we can improve. We must improve together. Am I right, LA? So this is a vision of an economy that works for us. We set a foundation with the freedom dividend, and then we start solving the real problems of this time. And I'd like to ask a question that's patently ridiculous, but how many of you were excited about GDP when you woke up this morning? You were like, oh, I'm gonna make a good GDP contribution today. And I'd like to talk about my wife who's at home with our 2 boys. I was just FaceTiming with her. And she's at home with our 2 boys, one of whom is autistic. What is her work included out of GDP every single day? Zero. We know that's nonsense. We know that's the opposite of the truth, that her work is the most important and challenging and vital work that's being done in our society today. Evelyn, that's right. I love you, Evelyn. I love you too. When someone thanks me for running for president, I'm like, you got it wrong. Thank my wife. She's staying on the chin. I thank her every day. I tell people I've got 2 jobs. 1, help advance our society in the time of the 4th Industrial Revolution. And number 2, stay married. I'm doing a pretty good job on both. So if GDP is a ridiculous measurement that none of you cares about, what do we have to do to actually make it something you would care about? How about your mental health and freedom from substance abuse? How about your health and well-being and life expectancy? How about clean air and clean water? How about how our kids are doing? I'm going to, as your president, it will be my privilege to update GDP, say, look, this is 100 years old, really out of date, kind of useless. And then I'll update it to the American scorecard that includes those measurements, and I'll report to you all, the American people, how we're doing on a PowerPoint deck in the State of the Union every year. The State of the Union right now is this bizarre theater performance. How many of you have checked out and stopped watching that? Yeah, we got to bring it back to something that actually will help us solve the real problems. We just spec out. You have record high GDP. You know what else are record highs in this country? Suicide. Depression, stress, suicides, drug overdoses. It has gotten so bad that our life expectancy has declined for the last 3 years. You know the last time America's life expectancy declined 3 years in a row? Great Depression. Yes, the Spanish flu of 1918. A global pandemic that killed millions. We are back in Spanish flu territory because drug overdoses and suicides have overtaken vehicle deaths as cause of death in this country. And yet they tell us that everything is great, everything is rosy, GDP is going up, unemployment's down, stock market prices going up. And it makes no sense. As someone who's run organizations, if you have the wrong measurements, you're doomed. That's where we are as a society right now. We're cheerleading these phantom measurements that have nothing to do with how we are doing. And we can change it, right, Los Angeles? So this is the vision of an economy that will work for us. We can rewrite the rules. There's nothing stopping us. I have been inside the machine, and I can tell you, we can win this whole thing. I started this campaign because I knew the machinery was weak. I knew the institutions were like on their last legs, but I got inside. I got into the middle of the belly of the beast. It's even worse than I thought. They're there. It's like the illusion of efficacy. It's so wild. You get in. Whatever you think is going on, it's a step or two below what you think is going on. I know, you're like, no way that's even possible, Andrew. No way that's possible. Oh, but it's possible. Oh, it's possible. That's one reason we're gonna win the whole thing, gang, gang. So because this is the math campaign, I'm gonna break down some fun numbers for you all. tonight one of only 2 candidates in the field that 10% or more of Donald Trump voters say they will support. Which means that when I am the nominee, we win the whole thing. And what is the #1 criteria that Democratic primary voters have for the nominee? Beating Donald Trump, that's right. They're looking around the field and they're saying, who can beat Donald Trump? Who can beat Donald Trump? Andrew Yang can beat Donald Trump! Yang does beat Trump, Los Angeles. It's like a game of rock, paper, scissors. And if Donald Trump's the scissors, I'm the fucking rock. And you know who knows this? Donald Trump knows this. Donald Trump months ago said this. He cannot wait to run against everyone in the Democratic field. His one fear is that some new figure comes out of nowhere to run against him. That's you! And that figure is me, Yang Gang! Because he knows his attacks work on politicians, and his fear was that a new non-politician that is not full of shit comes out of nowhere. So, Yang beats Trump. 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 So #1, we've got the poll saying I beat Trump head-to-head by 8 points. #2 is Donald Trump's own admission that what worries him the most is a non-politician. And #3 is the fact that there is only one candidate in the field that he has not touched on Twitter, and you're looking at him. Because he knows I'm better at the internet than he is. So right now, Joe Biden is leading in the polls because most Americans regard him as the surest bet to beat Donald Trump in 2020. No, it's okay. It's okay. Most Americans are not paying very close attention right now. And so they think, like, who's going to beat Donald Trump? Joe. And I've been with Joe a number of times, and, you know, a lot of Americans like Joe for very good reason. But when they wake up to the fact that there's another sure bet to beat Donald Trump, you're going to see our numbers grow and grow and grow. This is the math. We are building a campaign that brings in people that have not paid attention to politics historically. How many of you think that describes you? Raise your hand. Not in a politics. Yeah, look at that. We're activating people on every point of the political spectrum, from disaffected people who voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, we got a couple. There we go. Let's give them a round of applause. And independents, libertarians, as well as Democrats and progressives. Build a much broader coalition to take on Donald Trump in 2020 than any other candidate in the field. Now, this is a new thing here in California. How many of you know that California got moved up in the order of states in 2020? That's right, California got tired of not having a say in who's going to be the president of the United States, and this time you moved all the way up to #5. So this is new, first time in decades that everyone here will actually have a say in who becomes president of the United States. Historically, this is one reason why you all haven't paid attention, because it was already resolved by the time it got to you. That's true. You're rational. You're not idiots. You look up and be like, hey, it's been decided by the time it gets to us. I don't need to pay very close attention. This time, the order goes Iowa number 1, New Hampshire number 2, Nevada number 3, South Carolina number 4, and then right there at number 5, along with another So this is your chance, California. Are you going to make the most of it? We can take this whole thing, because this is not going to be decided by the time it gets to you all. It's going to be still a free-for-all. The first 4 states are going to get divided among a bunch of candidates, and then California is going to have a chance to make your say.
The wave is coming!
You also have mail-in voting that starts a month earlier, so believe it or not, you all can vote at the same time that Iowa votes in early February. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like, you're moving up changes a lot of things. California is going to be in play, and what you do is very likely to determine who's going to become the President of the United States. Which I have to say is excellent news for the Yang Gang, am I right? Because the Yang Gang is very strong in California. We're gonna come here. There was a recent poll, and I get along with Kamala, but I outperformed Kamala in a recent California poll. My experts who looked at the data say that we can win California. Are they right? Yeah! It's gonna come your way, California, in March of 2020, and then you all are going to make history. My job is to get the ball to you all. Our job. We're gonna fight it out in Iowa. We're gonna fight it out in New Hampshire. We're gonna fight it out in Nevada. We're gonna fight it out in South Carolina, and then we're gonna bring you the ball. Do you know what to do with it? Yes, you do know what to do with it. So here's what we need you to do from now until then, because we've got 4 months to make history, Los Angeles. 4 months. 5 months by the time the ball comes to you, and then all of the talk becomes action. All of the signs become votes. What we need you to do is we need you to take your favorite piece of an interview with me, or a meme, or an article, or a policy, or a selfie, or whatever it is, and we need you to send it to your friends and family here in California. Can you do that for us? And there's no better feeling than when you reach out to them, and then they take their time, because they're human beings, they have lives, but then they reach back out to you like a number of days, a week later, and be like, yo, I saw that Andrew Yang, he was on The View, he was on Seth Meyers, he was on Trevor Noah, he was on Patriot Act with Hassan Minhaj. That shit's coming out soon, I didn't make that up. And he was making a lot of sense. And then people are gonna be like, can he win? And be like, oh yeah, he can win. Because they looked at the map. Because the country is ready. The machinery is weak. Then it's time for the humans of this country to take back our government. Am I right? What is this like to you, Los Angeles? This looks like a fucking revolution to me. This is a revolution of humanity. This is a revolution of reason. This is we're tired of the infighting, the nonsense, the solutions that will not touch our lives. Instead, we're going to bring it back to us. We're going to bring the power back to us. We're going to make things start working for us. I cannot wait to get to DC. I cannot wait to see the look on their faces when President Yang rides in on my white horse. We're going to let the country know then it's not left, it's not right, it's forward! That's where we're gonna go in 2020. Donald Trump's our president today in part because he got some of the problems right. He said he's gonna make America great again, and what did Hillary Clinton say in response? America is already great. And that did not quite work. We have to acknowledge the depth and severity of the problems, but we have to have a new set of solutions. What were Donald Trump's solutions? We're gonna build a wall. We're gonna turn the clock backwards. We're gonna bring the old jobs back. We have to do the opposite of these things, Los Angeles. We have to turn the clock forward. We have to accelerate our economy and society for the true challenges of the 21st century. We have to evolve in the way we think about work and value in our own place, in our own country. And I am the ideal candidate for that job because the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math.